folks. We knew that this was going to be an exciting series, and it's just getting started. The first win going to go to Team Secret, and let's talk about how they were able to grab that win. And I want to start off by just talking about the draft a little bit, guys. I think one of the things that was, even to me, I was like, wow, you're going to let him have it, was the Monkey King. How do you feel about allowing them to have the Monkey King, Kyle?
I mean, that's just a secret special. I think Matumba Man played great, but I don't know if I would key in on that as really what gave Secret the W. Yapzor didn't die.
Yeah.
Zai played a last pick Clockwork and kind of proved that he was worthy of being last picked, his hero. Went the ice build, got an Ags at some point, made a ton of space. But really, the two guys that had to show up for Secret to win this game did so because they were able to make plays. Yang getting that Abaddon instead of a playmaker, I think, really hurt Vici and their ability to play aggressive.
Yeah, Cinderin was really talking about the fact that the Abaddon didn't seem like something he liked a lot. Fogt, how did you feel about it now that the dust is settled?
I could see why they wanted to do it because they wanted to get that lane set up, right? They wanted to have the Abaddon in the safe lane. They wanted to run the aggro tri-lane. Yang gets these items to farm up. He's able to front line through the Monkey King ulti, actually get on top of these heroes, give information. But it ended up working because I think Ori just got too shut down. He ended up like decent on the net worth, but he's that playmaker. It kind of forces the game into be like, all right, Ori and PYW, you guys have to get so much done now. Yang, sure, he's farmed, but these two other heroes have to get that crazy amount done, and Ori just got shut down. Yapzor was just, he had his number. He sat mid, they killed him, what, 2-3 times? And then even in the mid game, he just seemed to always find the openings on this Earthshaker, and it really was an absurd performance by Yapzor.
I have to agree. You're trying to kill a puck. I said how that would Vici deliberately pick this hero and put it mid so that Yapzor will have a hard time finding kills. He still grabs 2 in the laning phase, and that's for an Arc Warden. In addition, you're shutting down the enemy playmaker. If Ori's game is poor, no one else can actually make moves around the map. And Vici are forced to play this defensive game where they're just farming lanes.
And that's why I think Abba and Omni are just like falling out, right? Like we've seen these heroes, they're first paid at the beginning of the tournament, and now they're just not. They're just they're slowly falling out. And we see why. They can't make plays. They're forced to win the lane, or you don't have any impact.
And I loved the itemization by Zai this game. He went for this Vlad's and this pipe, but I think the Vlad's was actually super cool because they went for the Roche, and that's where I feel like the game actually exploded. Because up until the Roche, it was what, like 1, 2K, 3K, maybe gold lead for Secret. They get that Roche, and they're full health afterwards.
5 to 6K.
They don't have to actually worry about, hey, we need to reset, defend our lanes because everything was in good position. Everyone's full HP, they're ready to go, ready to bring the fight again. So it's cool.
Let's start to figure out what maybe we see Vici do differently here, because obviously before we got into this one, we talk how Secret and Vici have just been so far and ahead the other teams, and I think, you know, quite a few people saying that they thought maybe Vici was a little bit ahead if you had to pick your favorite team in this one. But the thing is when we do see them match up, it has seemed, Kyle, like Secret does have the code cracked and knows how to take down Vici.
Yeah, I mean, they've certainly paid their dues, right? They've played them how many times over the years, and I don't really know how to iterate on it. If I'm Vici, I've got to kind of go back to the drawing board a little bit. I felt like if you look at the heroes in the opener, like Tree Doom have seemed so strong, but to your point, Yanni, like if you don't have the initiation power, we saw in like those last fights with even defending the base, you're getting a Doom off onto the real Arc Warden, but you can't actually close the gaps. They have nothing that can close the gap, and it's really reliant upon dominating through the mid game, and you know, you're jumping onto the back line. There's a Doom and there's a puck, and now Drow's in position to launch arrows, but there's so much space within the fights created because of these heroes like Clock, Shaker, even Arc Warden allows for a lot of space to be made because you naturally just break up the fight with barriers.
Yeah. I think you said during the draft, I think you said probably like the most important thing is like this hero, this Monkey King in particular, he doesn't really, if he does get hit by a Doom, if he does get hit by like this tree ultimate or whatever, if he gets his Wukongs up before that, he doesn't care. He's just gonna hold his ground, he'll beat right through it, he'll get his life.
And he may die, but he really doesn't care about it.
But he gets up, and I feel like it's similar with Arc Warden too. If he gets his Tempest double up and then the Doom comes out, he's like, all right, cool, I already have like
another hero, all right.
So I thought the draft was actually really clever the way they did versus the first pick Doom.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys were talking about Ori a little bit too, and talking about how you can allow Ori to have the game that he needs to have for Vici. Do you have anything going through your mind right now where you go, okay, this is how we get Ori online, this is how we enable Ori?
Maybe you just first pick one of his best heroes. They like first picking cores sometimes, and you got rid of the Kunkka. I'm just not a fan of the puck because you don't scale, and if you fail your first couple ganks, you fall super far behind. Meanwhile, something like a Kunkka, you can fail a gank, but you just go back next time, you get the X boat, you're gonna get a kill eventually.
And the other downside is if you look at the Secret lineup, right, each hero on the squad has some way of saving their allies, right? Either it's Fisher, Cogs, the Arc Warden, Bubble, Monkey King could just drop the ultimate or land a stun.
This AoE deterrent.
Yeah, you have some way to create space, save your teammates. You're going to get punished if you try and all in on one hero. And I don't know if it's Ori's hero that's really the problem. I think it's, again, you can't play two passive side laners. You're going to get punished. If you're ahead and snowballing, if you're the team killing the Roche, by all means, Drow Batten looks great like it did earlier in the tournament. The meta's changed a bit. Teams aren't going to let you just roll down lanes uncontested.
Kyle, you sound right yet again. Let's actually talk about some of the guys on Secret who did really perform well. I want to hear from you guys who you think the MVP potentially is. I think it's
a pretty Yapzor.
Yeah. Yapzor, and then maybe, probably Zai and Matumba like sharing some decent amount in between there. But yeah, Yapzor
he's just
opened
so
everything
good.
up.
Like the one fight where I think he let Nisha die, saved the Echo. Any other Earthshaker player, you're going to try and save your most farmed hero. Instead, he saves it. 60 seconds later, they win a team fight because he still got it. Like he's amazing on Shaker.
He won middle lane as well. At 5.5 minutes, if you actually go and download the replay and watch, he canceled 7 Fissures before Ori finally took the bait and phase shift. Like, that was actually a super fun thing to watch, the whole phase shifters. Like, if he gets stunned, he's dead.
Yeah.
But if he phase shifts it, he just lives. So there's like this super big mind game. It's super fun. You should watch it.
All right, so you guys are pretty much settled, but we want to hear it from the cuties in the chat right now. Before we show you the MVP, if you want to give us a little aye in the chat as a drum roll, and if you gentlemen can hit us with the drum roll. Before we see the MVP of game 1, let's take a look. Secret versus Vici. Zai gonna take 60% there.
I mean, he's just a fan favorite, right? I think literally everyone loves Zai. People in the crowd love Zai. Definitely people at home love Zai.
And he did own. He did play super well in that game. He was the one like driving the force. So far, Yapzor was super beasties. He didn't die, but Zai is only 3 letters, and Zai, they all love Zai, like you said.
It's very easy to type, right?
Yeah, that too. 3 letters, even I can do that.
Yeah. Zai is so kawaii. But let's start to think a little bit about the next matchup and what we actually do expect to see, because I think you guys have started to outline what you thought the problems were in Vici, but I think one of the other things that you guys have done an excellent job of outlining, even earlier in the day, is the idea that they're not going to be stuck by any means.
Yeah.
They definitely do have the options to change things up on the fly. We know that they're a team of a high enough caliber to make those adaptations within a series. So do you think this game 2 is going to look a lot different, Fog?
Honestly, I think they stray away from Drow, period. Because in the group stages, what was the hero they tried to make work and they ended up losing with? Even though they had amazing, they had like this solid 20 minutes or something. I think it was both games that they had the Drow or something. They had this solid 20 minutes, and then they just ended up losing with the hero. I think it just ends up being not active enough, like we're mentioning.
Yeah.
If you have to you kind of like just force everybody else to do so much more. And I feel like Eurus, Paparazzi, he's one of those carry players that he looks so damn good when he's actually able to play active. Drow doesn't allow you to.
Yep, I think that's a perfect point. It's also naturally going to create holes in your lineup, because if you want to have a partner that scales with the Drow aura, you're naturally going to have a lack of initiation or a lack of team fight. You're not also going to be easily able to get away with something like a Drow Viper against Secret, as an example, because if there's any team in the world that's going to punish your lack of playmaking, it's going to be Secret, because they're just so good at killing and just never, they don't ever overplay their hand, it feels. You'll see sometimes teams will they have an unexpected buyback, they'll lose 4 at a tower. That's not going to happen to Secret.
All right, well, that next game is just around the corner. We're going to see you very soon. Do not go anywhere. These are the 2 teams that we really need to figure out who is the best and who is going to head straight into the grand final.
Rick Gaming Esports, professional esports housemaker.
But I never thought I'd settle down in a sleepy one cantina town. So many places that I'd rather go, but it seems
We have our top 4 teams, but with this series, you can get yourself all the way to that top 2. You can get yourself to the grand final, and these are the 2 squads that we have consistently said we expected to see, not only in the grand final, but potentially winning the entirety of the thing. But as of right now, it looks like Secret may have the upper hand in this matchup. We're going to be jumping into the draft and see if Vici can put together something different and finally get a victory over this team that has been the only roadblock for them so far in our major. And Kyle, I can see that you like what you see.
Oh yeah, Vici have to ban out the Earthshaker.
Look at that.
There's
That's
very
respect,
few.
yeah.
There's very few respect bans that you
Our
can
true
point to.
respect.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No one else is banning Earthshaker.
That excited Kyle quite a bit. He threw his hands up there. I got to ask you now, Fog. Do you like what you see?
I mean, they banned both. They're like, it's screw Earthshaker and Arc Warden. We don't like these heroes that Secret likes to play, and we might not know how to actually deal with it, so get them out of there.
And that's what we talked about. They are going to make these adaptations. Like, you have 2 of the best coaches in the world going at it, as well as just 2 of the best. I mean, it's actually Yang on Vici's side and Puppy on Secret's side. Like, that's just some smart-ass Dota players.
Yeah, I think we definitely have some palpably glowy brains, definitely butting heads here. And
Not
now,
on the panel.
Definitely not on the panel. We have an NA panel right now for the for the best Dota matchup.
IO time.
It got through. Okay,
So-
Secret did ban it last game, and Vici was first pick last game as well, right?
Yeah, and I want to note they banned out the Drow. I think just because Vici banned out the Arc
Warden.
That's Secret's go-to counter pick. If you don't have it, well, let's just get rid of what Vici obviously are huge fans of running. They do leave the Wisp, but if I know Puppy, he'll have something in that notebook prepared for this. Wouldn't be surprised to see AA. I've seen Zai play it. I've seen both supports play it.
They can do Tree AA. If they
I like
wanted to
it.
go for that type of style,
like it.
it can work. We've seen it earlier in the tournament. Or they can expect, like, it's going to be a gyro likely for Vici. So how do you want to deal with it? This is another hero that they love on YapzOr. It also is amazing versus IO.
I know it's Lizard's favorite counter, dude. I know Kyle's the AA guy, Lizard's the Winter Wyvern. They counter in different ways, right? Like, Winter Wyvern forces him to fight, and then you're there. AA just takes him out of the fight.
They can do both.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
We've
could.
seen them do both even.
Yeah, my problem with Wyvern is just that at times, like if you're forced to use your ulti to peel as an example, while all of a sudden, you know, it's like watching like Silencer against Enigma sometimes. It's a great counter pick, but if you're holding your ult and Enigma's holding your ult, it's not necessarily as relevant. And yeah, they double support on Secret. This also, keep in mind, could be a Zai Wyvern. This is one of the things I love about this team is that you never really are locking yourself into anything with your opener because they have so much versatility with the heroes they select.
Yeah, we knew this IO gyro was coming. This is like Vici's bread and butter. This combo has only one game that it really lost here?
Yeah, the one earlier.
It was just that one earlier,
I think
but
we
besides that one-
might have seen one in group stage,
Okay.
but this is like, yeah, that was the only true definitive loss, yeah.
But I think this team in particular, Vici Gaming, this is their specialty because they've absolutely mastered this, the way they play it, the way they play aggressively as well. Like Eurus, this is where he's able to set the tempo, and yeah, IO is something always to be very scared to
It's
play against.
like their big training partners when they're on form, PSGL, GD, both teams, I think, have always been willing to first to IO gyro. Before neutral items, before any of these changes with Ags, whatever, they were always willing to run it. And again, first toing it to great success. Doom going to be the ban out from Vici. Secret will have the selection out of this phase. I like that they jump the Kunkka ban up one phase.
Yes.
Because it's Wisp Gyro. You don't want to give Ori the best catch hero for mid.
You just
as
give
well.
him an X.
Yeah.
Immediately, you have 2 heroes on top of you.
And
Agreed.
you noticed in that last draft, this is a trap Vici sometimes fall into where both their side laners aren't playmakers. A lot of the time, the responsibility lies on Ori to actually be active around the map. Kunkka makes that a hell of a lot easier than pretty much any other hero you could select.
Yeah. And they banned the AA. They're like, we see the Winter Wyvern. You don't often see a Winter Wyvern Lich and still get the AA ban, but like you said, Zai, insane on that hero.
I wouldn't be surprised to see maybe, I was going to say maybe a Monkey King again, but I'm not certain they like that as much.
I wonder if Vici decides to go for something like, it's a little bit unorthodox and we haven't seen it much, but the Bat Rider. You're versus Wyvern already, you're versus Lich, and you have Io Gyro on your team. They maybe not rushed out of here, but it's a hero that sets up really easily for it. But it's a hero that we haven't seen in favor too much, so maybe a bit unlikely.
I still really like Centaur for both teams. I still think that hero's a bit underpicked.
Yeah.
I agree.
Hero's sick.
I feel like Secret might be taking a life stealer here. I don't know why, but I don't think they hate it versus the Io Gyro, and it's not that terrible versus it if you get the farm you need and the faster paced version of it. Because I agree. I don't think they're going to Monkey King this game. It's so hard versus Io Gyro, or I think it's harder.
You can't match like this pace. Like you can't. You just can't. You can move around and follow them, but you can't keep your farm up at the same time.
You'll keep up for like 10 minutes, and then you get like your level 10 towns, and all of a sudden you're through the jungle in 10 seconds or through the lanes in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And they're using all their time. This is always the longest one though for most teams.
Yeah.
Who do you think can keep up though, Grant?
I would still probably go with the life stealer. You could. What's like a quick paced Zai here? They go, okay, Magnus.
I dig it, especially when you already have Wyvern. That's a second BKB piercing disable, and just we talked about how do you beat Wisp, right? We saw Alliance do it in that first game against Liquid. Team fight.
Yeah.
And this Magnus can scale. We saw with Limp, my God, he made that hero look like a hard carry.
Well, yeah, they've done this before with Nisha, and both Nisha and Matama Man playing. I see a hero that's really left in the pool that it has a lot of counters that are banned. I see AA's banned, I see OD's banned. Morphling for Secret is definitely ticking up on the rise there if they do want to go for that. And it's versus Gyrocopter, which used to be its bread and butter.
A really good point. Still, again, preserves. You're not sure if this Wyvern is a core or not. It's really cool that you can still keep that open.
Yep.
Rubik, to me, stands out for Vici. Again, you're playing against a Lich, you're playing against a Mag. It's never a bad choice, and I'd love to see them pick up a support that has a lot, like the ability to rotate, especially when you have a Wisp Gyro.
I usually see PYW. Doesn't he play both? He plays the IO and the Rubik, I think, for the most part for this team, I believe, at least.
There is no, Secret took out Disruptor right off the bat. That to me is the scariest support to go with a Wisp because that solves all your problems with finding kills around the map.
Catch, that's what we keep talking about. Vici from either the support or their mid lane, they got to find a catch.
I keep going back to kind of what we were talking about before we even jumped into this series, just the idea of you can let some of the more meta picks potentially go through. If you are a team like Team Secret or Vici, you maybe let that Io Gyro go through because you do know the answers. But do you think Mag is enough to address that, Fog?
It's strong. It fits their lineup really well, and it's their comfort that can also scale super hard. It gives your other carry also, if it's a melee hero, another way to scale really hard. I'm looking at Vici, and I'm wondering if, like, I know we just saw Baden, but okay, they actually go for the Rubik anyway. I was wondering if maybe now with the Rubik, it's still weird because it's not a playmaker from the offlane, but Yang Omni Knight. You're versus Magnus.
Okay.
It works super well with these heroes. We've seen what IO plus Omni can do. Sure, it lost earlier today, but the healing potential can be super strong from that too. I think it's a possibility now just because they have the Rubik.
You can also perhaps consider a Timber Saw. You don't really have a way to deal with it on Secret just yet. And it's pretty favorable lane matchups against the supports.
And it was last banned last game, right? Or second phase. It was one of those two.
But I like Secret because keep in mind, we also don't know if Nisha or Matumba Man's playing the Mag. They're one of those teams comfortable just playing it as the one position, which I think in this game is better.
Okay.
Such a good. It actually just. You just have to pick. You were right. Like, you just have to pick this Rubik here. It's just way too good of a hero in this game.
And it's like, what other hero would you 5, right?
Yeah.
It just, nothing seems good. They typically, Vici likes running Disruptor or Lion with their Wisps, like something that provides really hard lockdown. But those heroes are just, you won't get your spells off as a Lion in this game. You're just going to feed.
IO Rubik is, the support duo is not the strongest though.
Yeah, the lanes are a bit weak and you're looking at a Lich Mag.
You just want to survive till that 20-minute mark normally.
Woo.
Got a Pango, all right, the Zai Pango.
Look at this team fight
seriously.
on Secret, holy crap.
The thing, is it always good to like go all in on this team fight versus like an Io Gyro? Because they want to initiate the fight and just kill one of these.
It's not just team fight though. They have the ability to scale. Like Wyvern, Mag, Pango, they all clear creep waves in the blink of an eye. It's not as if you're really going to be falling off with this draft. You're just really, really strong.
Great call on the Timber.
Yeah.
Damn, Kyle, it's like you're drafting for Vici right now. 2 heroes in a row.
Yeah, I have to say, Kyle's been on fire all tournament long.
Yeah.
Like actually, you've been on absolute fire. A lot of these calls have been absolutely fantastic. So,
and so why is the Timber good then? Why'd you like it here?
Strong lane matchups, it's really the supports don't deal with you at all. There's no real magical damage threat right now as the Timber. And as we saw in games where he was playing against Slark with like a Treant in tow, this hero is really good at being a bully. And whenever you have a Wisp lineup, right, you're able to play on separate areas of the map. You can play 2 and 3 very easily. Timbersaw creates mismatches because you need multiple heroes to deal with him. Otherwise, he's just going to kill your objectives. This is exactly what Wisp Gyro loves to play into because now you have choices around the map. You can farm, you can push side lanes, you could relocate in. It just makes the game easier to play. Plus you have weak supports. As Fog said, you need a solo hero that can be independent, which frees up Rubik to move around the map.
Yeah, and he's great versus, I mean, love him versus Wyvern and Lich. You do not care, like you said. You don't care about these heroes, and you also can just kill them. Like if there is ever a Cold Embrace, you're like, okay, cool, great. That guy's just absolutely dead if he does get gone on.
And now you still need, is this an Ori Timber is the question? Or is it for Yang? I think it's more likely it'd be Ori personally.
You think Ori? Okay.
I feel like whenever you have good matchups like this, an offlane Timber against a Mag can just get bodied. Whereas if you go mid, you hit level 7 really early on. I don't see any way for Secret to deal with them until much later into the game.
But couldn't they just put the Mag mid then too? Couldn't the Mag kind of
but it's in a 1v1, it's different.
It's better for the Timber than in that situation, yeah.
Wouldn't you just get like skewered under a tower middle or something? Isn't that?
As soon as you're level 3, you're not going to die. The problem is bottom if you're in a scenario where you're 2-on-1'd or 3-on-2'd. Like if they just trial you're in big trouble. And Zai's Pango has no problem. Like look at the supports, right? How would you help your Timbersaw if there's 3 heroes in the safe lane?
You're not. Fair enough.
It's just, yeah, I would lean towards it on Ori, but I'm not sure what you would go for Yang here. Is there, what makes Pango's game annoying? Maybe.
I mean, you already got the Rubik, right? That's the thing. You did pick the Pango into the Rubik.
This is such a godly Rubik game, honestly. Make IO super like a 5, like full on 5.
That's gonna be the hard part, right? You want to get Rubik farm, but it's gonna be tough. There you go, Storm. Okay.
Okay. It's nice. You have reach now. This was necessary with the draft, and it's also great synergy with the Wisp.
And they have more scaling too.
Yeah.
You have IO Gyro who scales super hard, but now you have a Storm on top of that too. And the disable is. We talk about a lot of team fight on Secret, but their disables are pretty much just their ultimates. You have a Curse, you have an RP, and you have Pango ult, but it's just a Sinister Gaze besides that to lock you down.
It's a sick Ember game for Secret now.
Oh, that hero, what the hell happened to that hero? We haven't seen it since group stage, have we?
Yeah, I
just realized.
Don't know.
Oh,
that works too.
Team fight, what the?
All right, so the one thing that we keep coming back to with Team Secret is the team fight. How can they use what they have in their draft, Kyle? Can they use that team fight to actually take this game against what Vici has?
I think so. For Vici to win this game, they're going to need a really solid laning phase, and they're going to have to just take skirmishes and win the game off the back of that. Secret have so many tools to win fights.
And think about what the stakes are here, folks. With this draft, keep in mind, Secret may be knocking Vici down to the lower portion of this bracket where they will face elimination. All of that and more is coming up right after this.
A clean victory in Game 1 leads Secret just 1 game away now from the Grand Finals, and it seems like our panel is enjoying all the team fight that they've drafted anyway. Synderin, are you also a big fan? Synderin, by the way, you are breathtaking.
Aw, thank you so much. Oh, I'm glad we had a sound bit for that one.
I don't know, Synderin, what do you think? Not about the poster, but about the game.
Oh, I honestly, I lost track of the game. I kind of just want to talk about the poster all day.
Maybe you took your own breath away.
We could analyze the poster. How do you think? Well, that's That's a lot of team fight, Cap, okay? You've got 5 heroes with massive team fight abilities, and while on paper this might sound great, what often ends up happening when you draft lineups like this is that you kind of stumble over each other. You kind of get in the way. You're like, you see this amazing RP opportunity at the exact same time as you see an amazing Wyvern ulti, and you counteract each other. Or, wow, that was a great chrono, let's Pango ulti at the same time, and then you're just stuck in the chrono, you know?
Right.
You need really good communication to play a lineup like this. You have plenty of opportunities, but at the same time, it's also very big spells that need to land. And you don't have much in the way of like smaller stuff, like let's say a swap or a lion stun to get things started. It's very much around these like big combos where Vici game, you know, it's a little simpler in that sense. With Storm Jump can start a fight. You have a Rubik Telekinesis.
Also,
I'm curious to see it.
I know this team fight, excuse me, I know this meta is all about team fight. Apparently they're interchangeable, but like there's got to be some downside to just only drafting team fight, right?
Oh, absolutely. The first thing was the whole thing about casting the spells being difficult, right?
Sure.
If there's a single hero doing something, what do you do as secret? Do you chrono it? Do you RP it? Do you curse it?
Okay.
And is that actually going to be enough when you're playing against Relocate? I think if Vici Gaming play the fights in a way where they send in like one hero here, one hero there, they like fragment the fight, it gets really difficult for Secret to cast their spells properly. Like, who wants to go first on this Storm? Who wants to go first on the Timber when there is that Relocate threat behind? That's one weakness. The other one is, a lot of the time when you pick a lot of team fighters, they're not the best laners, and that's the case here too. Void not the best laner, Pango not the best laner. Magnus is pretty good nowadays, honestly, but you know, the panel also talking about the team fighting supports. Lich and Wyvern. I think Lich is an amazing laner right now. Wyvern less so.
Wyvern definitely a little less so. We do have the teams trying to switch up the lanes a little bit. How do you view this, Sinner? Who came out on top in this switcheroo?
I think you're very happy getting a 3v2 as Vici Gaming just because there's no really good solution for the Timber Saw. He can play any 1-on-2 here against this lineup and get full levels, probably get some decent farm as well. And you want to get your gyro off to a good start. So I think they're pretty happy.
At the same time, at least Motoma Man isn't going to be pressured by a tri-lane here. Should be able to just kind of freely farm. Looks like Ori got skewered back into the tower. Good way for Nisha to get himself a lead.
Oh, that'll help in the bottom lane as well.
Yeah.
The thing though, when you do 2v1 against a Timber like this is, let's say you play this lane for 4 minutes as 2 heroes. The moment Wyvern leaves, your Void is out-leveled by Timber.
Right.
And that can get scary when Timber gets 6, because he will just start non-stop harassing you with chakrams and his other spells, and you will probably be bullied away. So that is a bit concerning. Wow, that's a bro move.
Yeah, that really
TP
is.
into self. Sorry, I got skewered into tower.
Can somebody bail out my lane for me? Not to gank, but to give me one of your consumables. But after all, they don't really need the extra help so much in top lane because aggro tri-lane's a similar thing to you're talking about. Looks like he got skewered again. Jesus, Nisha, he's just on a roll right now and might be able to finish him off, but a Fairy Fire. Nisha actually recognizing that Fairy Fire doesn't overcommit for the kill underneath the tower. He also has a CS lead thanks in part to Empower and how incredibly strong it is in the laning phase for Magnus, whose stats are already decently high.
I'm impressed that he got 2 skewers off, though. I know Storm has to come in close to put remnants, but he must have had some really good footwork on the mag in this lane. It's easier now that he has a haste rune, but now he's too low to really want to do it, possibly. But yeah, this Rubik TP mid to refill Storm obviously helps him a lot, but at the same time, it's not the biggest loss for Rubik. He wants to run bottom anyway and start pulling. They don't want to stay as a tri-lane forever up top because then you run into the same trap as we talked about with Wyvern and Void in the 2v1 that you will get out-leveled too hard. And Pangolier getting 6 when your gyro is 4 is, can be really worrying.
So I imagine both supports. Ori getting pulled in, skewer forward, and what hit Nisha? It just feels like Ori has a little bit of a wrong read on this Magnus lane. You got to be careful. This Magnus is incredibly powerful, both in the harassment. They're going to pick up the courier here. They already delivered its goods, though, so Eurus, well, he may not feel comfortable fighting back, though, against the tri-lane that they brought in. The Wisp is already dead, and if Eurus gets slowed down here, PYW is going to help bail him out with a Fading Bolt, though.
Yeah, Zai got a good proc, but with Rubik there, they choose not to pursue, which is the right call for sure. Now this does leave the bottom lane in the situation we were talking about. So Timbersaw at the current point in time is level 4, and Void is almost level 4. So it's actually, they managed to do it in a way so that Matsu doesn't fall too far behind on experience. Both of them have big waves following them now, and Yang will get that level 6 at a good timing, but hopefully for Matsu, he's able to still be able to sustain himself in this lane.
It's I think it's a tactic that a lot of supports are using right now, is that they don't sit in the lane and soak experience so much. They really try and give that core most of the experience so they can roam around once you get to that sort of stronger point. With a Void, it just needs the higher levels of time walk so he can deal with any Timbersaw harassment, and then he should just be good to CS.
Yeah, the downside for the Void here is he has to buy quite a lot of extra regen, right? He bought another Tango pack and a salve. I think these are new, at least the salve is new.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say. And Yang obviously recognizing the nature of this matchup with the Orb of Venom, just playing super aggressive. He will keep fighting him here, he doesn't care. Even if the tower and 5 creeps are hitting him, he has that level 3 reactive armor. So that will be probably another 2 tangos gone, and it's economic damage, right? You keep doing this over and over, and suddenly the lane is becoming a clear win. Puppy.
BYW is going to lose this man fight to Puppy until DY came in, made things a little bit different. I actually, this is something that Arteezy said to me. He was like, right now, it's like net worth is like really important in the laning phase because people are using so many consumables. So our Void may be 22 and 6, but if we were to look at the net worth, I'm sure he'd be quite a bit lower than plenty of the other cores, as you're pointing out, because of that regen.
And it will get worse. This is the easier portion of the lane. When Timber hits 6, that's when it starts really costing you. Yeah. And he can't afford a Morbid Mask or something like this in addition to his time walks. So you see, every time he time walks damage off and goes in for CS, Yang is just on top of him. He's going to keep doing this over and over and over again. And we might see Matomaman just starting to cut waves. He did it before, he got the pull off. Yeah, now it's getting really nasty. There's the level 6 being hit by Yang. Good time walk dodge.
He's gonna chakra him, try and catch him. Matomaman does dodge most of the damage. Nicely done there. Back over to PYW, chased by Nisha, skewer forward. Telekinesis is not gonna let him get away unless into the high ground, in which case he's fine, especially with Ori cutting over. Now it's gonna be Yapzor, who is in trouble, especially with Nisha having no mana to stop this assault from Ori.
And after being solo killed mid, Ori is now top of the net worth. That kill put him in first place. So he has recovered nicely. One of the heroes that can really take over a game like this. When you're playing against all these team fighters, being able to constantly fight. When there's cooldowns, you can just look for skirmishes, look for smaller scale plays. This is if you could choose any hero on Vici Gaming's lineup to have a good start, this would be the one, together with Gyro. I honestly think if you had to, you could have sacrificed Timber a bit, just so that the other guys could really get the work done. But all 3 cores are doing well.
Yeah, they're all very happy. The only people who are really sad in this game is the supports, who are constantly trying not to take their core's experience and
I would say Zai isn't very happy either. He's very poor.
Yeah, I mean, all the supports are very poor, and all of them are very low level. It'll be interesting to see what that kind of results to in that 10-minute marker, when many people are probably not going to be 6 still, even with the tome coming in.
And Zai has 10 CS minutes, 7:30. They have destroyed him in this lane. That is actually crazy. It's one thing to win a lane, but I was not expecting to get this much of a trashing. And yeah, he might even die now. He is probably... No, it will be fine. He has sticks too. He has one disarmed and Fairy. And now they want to deal with this pesky Timbersaw. And
holding him up, does have the Chronosphere. He's going to be able to grab the 2 of them. Just go for the kill on PYW. The Splinter Blast was a little bit too far away to hit the Rubik, but there is Puppy to be able to burst him down. But Matomaman, he's just 1 nuke away from dying here, but the time walk is up, but no! He gets struck down by Yang before he was able to get it off. A fair trade, certainly, for Vici Gaming. Chronosphere and a core kill. Well worth it. Zai, he's going to be chased down by the missile here. In serious trouble unless Vici Gaming can't get around these trees so easily. He tries to get to somewhere he can hide away, but 2,000 net worth lead for Vici Gaming as they find yet another core kill. And Yang continues to just bully Secret.
Yeah, that 3v2 kill is really, really important for him. Like, you were doing well already. The enemy team rotates to try to solve that lane, and it turns out to be an even trade. That's not even even. You killed a core for a support in a 2v3. It's got to be a little bit demoralizing as well for Secret. Like, they have a level 3 Lich and a level 4 Wyvern. There's just no place on the map right now for them to make. Really, it feels like the guy they need to turn to right now is Zai, but his game is atrocious.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one big playmaker on the side of Secret, because both Magnus as well as Void are going to be a little bit more farmy. Lich and Winter Wyvern a little bit more teamfight focused. So there's no one to make, as you said, the little plays around the game,
Yeah.
the little pickoffs here and there. That would be the entire domain of a Pangolier, but he is too far out of it right now anyway. Secret, they're going to have to rely on that team fighting prowess big time, because it looks like they're going to be down in net worth when we approach that.
Oh, yeah,
especially with tower going down and Puppey. It looks like they're going to trade out Puppey in exchange for a denied tower, so at least Secret do get half that tower bounty. Still though, problems everywhere now as Yang by himself is able to hold the bottom lane as we approach that 10-minute outpost time.
Curious to see what item build Yang goes for. I think there's multiple routes you can take here. Looks to be maybe a hood into pipe build-up currently. Oh, securing the rune. Is that all 4 for
That's
Vici?
all 4.
Oh boy, that's
All 4.
4 runes and 2 outposts. Yeah, that's that's rough.
That is rough indeed. So 2K gold lead abruptly turns into a 4K gold lead, and a kill score that would be even. They're going to try and give YapzOr this bottom lane now that we do have our level 6 on the Pangolier, as
Puppey
is typical.
It's level 4, and the tome has been used.
Yeah.
He has no game right now. This is like very, very problematic for him. He had a huge impact in the last game with his Lich. This time around, it looks to be more of an uphill battle. Whose lane do you take? Do you take mid as a level 4 Lich 11 minutes in against Storm? You're going to get fed on. Do you go top? Pango really needs this space. Do you go bottom? Well, there was a Timbersaw before, which was not really playable for you. You tried. So a little bit kind of checkmated here on that support. And Vici is going to keep running at them. Use this Timbersaw as the frontline bully, take this tower. And he, like we were talking about, this Ring of Health, it can go multiple directions. Maybe that's why he's buying it first. I do think we will probably see the pipe build, but he hasn't fully committed yet.
Okay. Yep, there it is. So to define.
Yeah, now it should be a pipe build.
I would have been okay with just how far ahead he is with a Bloodstone at some point, but certainly you just want to secure your advantage some more with a pipe, right? Make sure that nobody can die, or he's got to make sure he doesn't get caught, but the Winter's Curse does hit him. Now Zai needs to be able to chain this stun off the wall into the RP onto 2, but Top Man's here as well. Can they get the bash? They don't need it. The damage is enough. His Secret show the first bit of team fight with a heavy rotation down to bottom lane. Puppey, okay, there's no stuns here. And when you miss your chain, there's no damage either.
Well,
Puppey teleported up to the tier 2 to try and pull the creeps off the tower, but Yang's going to make sure those creeps don't go far. They're going to turn right back and continue hitting that objective as Puppey dies.
That was a long distance gank. He kind of just extended it up to the lane.
Yeah.
That's a funny kill. They're pretty rare.
There must have been like nobody on Secret who wanted to be able to go top lane, and Puppey's like, well.
Yeah, somebody has to take the trash job, right?
Yeah.
You can't just let Yang sit here on his own completely, so you want to try to delay this inevitable snowballing. And the fight you just had bottom was really good. Like, the curse was clutch, being able to catch the Storm mid. Okay, that was a courier.
Yeah, with an Urn of Shadows, which they really need the Spirit Vessel. So they needed to pick up the charges. You can see Yang right now. He's just trying to keep that Siege Wagon alive. That's why he's staying in range of the tower. Eventually it'll go down as Puppey kills it with a Frost Blast. And even Zai popping his ultimate here. All this is going to be used to little effect. It was mostly just to stop the siege damage.
Yeah,
but
didn't help much.
Yeah, now Vici game to just commit with more heroes. Finish off that tier 2.
Still is a very good game for Nisha. We haven't been talking too much about him. He's been farming for the most part. He's 3-0, 150 CS. He got a good 2-man RP set up by that Winter's Curse. Got the Echo Saber finishing off a BKB probably in a couple of minutes here. I would guess like 4 or 5, which would be a very respectable timing. Feels like he has a lot of weight on his shoulders, right?
Yeah.
the other heroes are just too far behind. Pangolier's net worth is still a sight to behold.
Yeah, I mean, Yapstar is saying, I'm going to become the 3 now, as he's going to try and build up the Orchid Rush that we've seen some Winter Wyverns do.
Rush.
Yes, the good old 30-minute Orchid Rush, you know.
He could be getting into the decent timing still if they get one more good fight, but yeah, this Yang guy is a problem. Oh, they're going to pull him in.
Yeah, they do have the Rolling Thunder. They have Disables, plenty of them. But they don't necessarily have the damage to defeat this Timbersaw.
And it's problematic when you're parking like 3 or 4 heroes in this mid lane just to delay him, and it's not really working. Because that means you're getting out-farmed on the map too, right?
Yeah.
You know this Yang doesn't have his whole team behind him.
Yep.
There's a relocate and maybe 1 support nearby.
I think that's the best part of an IO lineup with the Timbersaw, is that Timbersaw can play really far forward knowing he's got that bailout option.
Yeah.
You have to worry about your positioning of your team a lot less with a combo like this. Plate mail as well, just to make sure that if he does lose his reactive armor stacks, he's still quite healthy.
Also, he did finish Pipe. Straight Lotus is the next choice. Guess he wants to try to Reflect Curse.
Deal with time dilation as well.
Time dilation for sure. There's added value in that. It's also a good protection against Sinister Gaze.
Yeah.
So has multiple uses in this game. Always love seeing that when you have Lotus. I feel like sometimes people buy this item to counter one specific thing, and it's 4K gold, right? I mean, it's a pretty expensive item. But if you feel like almost no matter what type of teamfight situation I get into, this item will be easy and useful for me to use.
He went for the deny on the tower. He's going to get away from it. No, the Radiant.
Siege creep
the Siege creep gets it instead. It's a cute move by Puppy. It's one of those situations where you're like, I got jack all to do else in this game, so I might as well try and deny tower.
Yeah, maybe they could stack more, but
then you're on the danger of maybe Yang finding it or the gyrocopter.
I don't think I've seen Puppy be level 5, 16 minutes in for a year. Maybe. But you know, you're playing with Yapstar, you're both having a bad game, you know who gets that book. You know who gets the creep wave. It's not you, Puppy.
No. It's not the big man in the booth, that's for
He's got to make sure to perform, though, or you know the machete comes out after the game, so Yapstar, don't miss your curses, buddy. Counting on you.
If he accidentally curses during a Chronosphere or an RP.
During the perfect Chain Frost.
He's going to be sweating for sure. 5-5, but a 5K gold lead for Vici Gaming, as things are just looking pretty smooth for them. Yang is slowly but surely taking all these towers out. There is a gyrocopter who's farming all around the map. And even Ori's Storm Spirit is closing in on the Orchid. Once we have that, we'll probably see a bit more action in this game.
And this is an awesome neutral item, by the way, grabbed by, well, both Magnus and Timber have it, but I was going to say mainly on the Timbersaw. You get that extra mana regen out of the Essence Ring. It's super nice. And when you're this tanky hero, the HP burst is so much more effective HP.
Yeah.
When you have all that armor.
A Rolling Thunder, that's going to miss onto Ori. We're hoping they would surprise him out the trees. Yang, meanwhile, he doesn't need to surprise anybody. He is just a mobile tank right now.
How tanky is he? Here's the challenge.
Well, they may need to relocate in because there's going to be so many heroes here. It's going to be all 5 of Secret. He's going to pop that Essence Ring. Time dilation is wearing off, so he's got a Timber Change to be able to get himself away. But the bash at the right time. Skewers up as well, and Yang will finally fall. He stepped a tad too far, a little bit too deep in his Secret side of the map.
I love when 5v1s take 15 seconds. That's my favorite. Yeah, if that bash didn't connect, he might have actually lived. It didn't look like Nisha was willing to commit the RP for this kill. Probably knowing that if they use a key cooldown like that on the 5v1, you're kind of inviting Vici Gaming to look for an opportunity. Then you would have both RP and Rolling Thunder on cooldown at the same time. But
it's always a awkward line to tread as a Timbersaw, right? You've got a little bit of strongman syndrome going on because for most of the game you're feeling like nobody can mess with you, and you want to use that strength to take objectives. You want to be a target, but simultaneously you always kind of have to be aware of feeding away the advantage that you've built up. Fortunately for this Timbersaw, he's been creating space for 2 independent cores to farm, so he's not the highest net worth on his team. Not by a bit. It's the Gyrocopter and even Ori, who are way more farmed than him.
And it doesn't feel like the kind of game where Timber needs to do a lot of damage necessarily.
Right.
If he is misdirecting and if he is taking these key ultimates upon himself in the fights, I feel like that is inevitably going to result in a team fight
A
win.
big kill, an instant Chronosphere. Do they have enough damage? They're going to have the Sinister Gaze and bouncing off the neutral creeps with the Chain Frost.
Nicely
It certainly
done.
is enough.
That is exactly where you want to find the Storm with a creep camp next to him so that you can do that kill combo.
This great timing on the BKB from Nisha means that he doesn't really care about the Storm Spirit or the Gyrocopter so much anymore. We're going to have that magic damage coming in. Rolling Thunder is actually going to miss here. The telekinesis going off, stopping Nisha's retreat. Zion's going to make sure to keep that Gyrocopter controlled a little bit longer before he tries to escape. Now, is he actually going to make it off? They're going to have to relocate forward onto him, but it's still a bit of distance away. Another swashbuckle to the other side of the trees, and a TP out perhaps. No disables unless the telekinesis is up, but it's not. PYW still had that on cooldown. A clean escape by Zion, a lot of time bought.
Dude, I don't know why these plays make me laugh every time. Puppy randomly killed a creep with Frost Blast, I think, and it dropped the Dragon Scale.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah,
oh,
and then
no.
Vici just ran over and picked it up, so now they have a free Dragon Scale on IO. So they're going to get 4 of the items of this tier against the 2 of Secret, and that's a pretty big deal. You know, you have the Essence Ring as well that you can pass over to this IO. I guess they will do that eventually instead of having it on Timber, who again is
He's falling fast. Telekinesis ends the ring, is set it up to be able to buy some time. Timber Chain, a little bit of distance, and he does have some help nearby. Vici Gaming, they're coming in force. They want to be able to fight this one right now. The Gyrocopter's now here with the double damage, and it's Secret who have to retreat now, but they can't get away from this Storm Spirit, or he's certainly going to catch somebody. It's going to be the Winter Wyvern. A BKB TP out for Nisha. Make sure that he does escape. So Secret, they missed out on that Timber Saw kill, but fortunately they didn't lose too much for it.
It actually, when you think about it, when he's playing with IO, it says a lot about their read on the game that they keep the Essence Ring on Timber.
Yeah.
So, like, this guy is just going to be playing alone and be playing so much for space that we're willing to not put it on easily the best hero in the game to have this item on usually on the IO. He will get it later, surely, but for now, it's been super helpful for Yang.
Yeah.
He survived because of it that time.
And he may just need it again as Sai and Matumba Man are going to pounce onto him. He's going to pop the Essence Ring now. The Rolling Thunder going out to chase down Gyrocopter instead. He does have the IO nearby, so he's certainly not in trouble right now. But they do have the right kind of RP potentially to skewer for, trying to get the 2 of them together, but not quite. Yang's a little bit isolated, and they already have the relocate come out from the IO. Just in case the RP was used, they wanted to make sure Eurus was out of that engagement. They cannot afford to lose their highest net worth hero in the game right now.
And Secret, once again, they're piling heroes on this play. They didn't find anything. And this just opens up the map. Ori goes top, TP's there, starts pushing out. Looks like they're trying to make a quick play again. This time it's going to be the Void. And, oh no, not the same literal
the
play.
Chronosphere again, it's there. They have the Spirit Fest as well. Puppy is going to be there with the Sinister Gaze to chain the stun. And Vici Gaming, maybe they're just playing a little bit too independent at this point. Chronosphere is down, so maybe they can make some use of that cooldown.
You need vision to play like that top, I think. You're playing into multiple hard lockdowns as Storm. You need to see something so that you can predict this movement from Secret. It's basically the exact mirror of the kill that happened bottom, just that this time they didn't need the Chain Frost because of Pango, but it was, again, Storm Spirit next to small creep camp getting chronoed from Fog.
Glimmer Cape. That'll certainly help against the Storm Spirit and could provide some extra initiation onto that Storm. Ori, been a little quiet in this series so far. Was expecting big things from his Storm Spirit with him being able to have this kind of free farm. Hasn't proven it just yet. He's got some concerning things coming up. That Orchid being complete. Winter Wyvern's already scary lockdown because of the range of the Winter's Curse that can lead into other disables, but getting an Orchid in there as well, that'll make Ori's game awfully hard.
Secret.
Trying to catch him.
Nice jump from Zai getting up on the high ground. And this could get awkward now.
Oh, tried to get the shockwave into a skewer. Yang's right in the middle of everybody right now. The Gyrocopter's going to drop his ultimate. Yang is a bit low, still has his hood and the Essence Ring. Eurus, he's in trouble, and they don't actually have a relocate out for him. He's in trouble. Oh, it just came up. He was able to get the relocate onto the high ground. There is a shrine active up there, so they're going to have their full health. Secret still have the RP, though, as well as the Winter's Curse. So many team fight items.
He probably knows they're here. Come on.
Well, hopefully he's going to be able to get out. No, the Skewer's going to be able to stop that Timber Chain. Tries to get out much damage as possible.
Well,
him dead for 50 seconds. Could Secret actually take Roshan for themselves here?
Right, that looked like it was a bait, but nobody was nearby. Like he was so willingly just walking into the middle of the map after just having both teams disengage around this Roche pit. I thought somebody would be able to help him, but no, he was just completely left alone. Man, they lose the Roshan to Secret again. This is the 4th in a row in the series going Secret's way, and it really seems to be how they're winning these games is around this Roshan pit.
I don't know about you, Synderen, but I feel like we saw a little bit from last game, but this game especially, I feel like Vici Gaming is maybe giving too much respect to Secret. They seem terrified of all this team fight, that they're just playing for space and for farm. Maybe I have the wrong read on the game, but I would have thought that Vici Gaming could have tried to, aggressively fight Secret a little bit more than this.
Yeah, I think the moment Storm picked up the Orchid, there was the possibility of doing something like that. They just haven't really found the openings. Their lineup doesn't have the best catch either, right? They have,
Yeah, Sor. He set this up. TY's just going to commit. The Winter's Curse is going to stop the outpost from being claimed and the Bounty Rune from being nabbed.
Yeah, I do agree. I think Vici could, with all the space Yang has made, they should be able to, once in a while at least, find some sort of skirmish, or even if it is a team fight, I don't think it's impossible to team fight into this lineup. It looks scary, right? There's so many AoE abilities, but if your heroes aren't on top of each other, Secret spellcasting is not that easy. Storm on one side of the fight, Timber on another, Gyro playing from a distance with some spells, but yeah, they're playing it very safe. Now, here's a big item coming in. This might be what they were waiting for. Finally, BKB is completed on the Gyrocopter.
Did you see that? They passed over the Essence Ring onto the Void so he could get himself a little bit of heal and then passed it back off again.
Efficiency.
Yeah. Even passing in some mangoes as well now, so everyone's happy, everyone's healthy, and 2 of them are empowered so they can hit this tier 2.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Vici Gaming, not going to try and fight this, it seems. Looking to trade things out while the Aegis is still on Matumba Man.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Change
to quiver. Yeah.
I feel like we both have a similar concepts on the ideas on that item. It's not the best.
Yeah, I'm not sure who you give it to here. There was one other game I saw, it was given to Gyro, giving him that long-range attack. Oh, my.
Oh, pushing out high ground with the smoke. Instantly a double bash coming out from our Void, but he's getting disabled up. He's trying to use his Aegis right now. Gonna pop the BKB. Now that he's grabbed that IO, the stolen Chronosphere could spell bad things here, as he wants to be able to get away with the Rolling Thunder. They're gonna lock down this room to make sure that Chronosphere is not used aggressively. Matumba Man, he's gonna be losing his Aegis here for the Rolling Thunder, knocking up Ori. Maybe they're running out of damage though with the buyback being used. Vici Gaming feeling comfortable taking this fight, but what if they can't actually catch the Secret hero? Secret getting out with the spider legs, the time walk, all the mobility that they have, and the buybacks there from Vici Gaming feel quite ineffective.
That was awesome for Secret, I think.
Yeah.
They get a very good way of using their Aegis. They get a couple of kills, a couple of buybacks, lose nothing. Great. You didn't even... I mean, you did use some spells. You still have Chain Frost and Curse for disengage purposes if Vici tried to pressure you right now. And it just... I feel like Secret kind of just... I want to say got away with it almost in this last 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Does feel like the Vici Gaming against what I've seen them play against other teams, they would have played with a lot more confidence of out-team fighting somebody. Oh, nice fast blink away, but it does leave Yang a little bit isolated right now. Ori knows he has to go for that Winter Wyvern to make sure that Orchid and that Winter's Curse isn't used, but he was locked down by Secret and instantly blown up. Now Eurus, without one of his damage dealers, has to be able to back away, but there's too much physical damage from the Void and the Magnus. They're going to stick onto him with this Blink Dagger. Eurus not going to be able to get away. Nisha's just too big. And off of a buyback, 2 buybacks from the supports, they both die now.
Secret are playing super well around each other. It looks so easy when they do this spell casting and these moves, but it's like, it's blink of an eye decision making where they just identify, okay, there's 2 heroes close together, immediately spell cast, right?
Yep.
This is the exact thing that Vici needs to not have happened. The one fight they finally choose to take is right outside the enemy base with Storm and Timber on top of each other. This is what you can't do against AoE-based spells. You can't stack your heroes like this. Your two most mobile heroes simply cannot be on top of each other like this.
And empowered DD Magnus is going to make short work of these buildings, especially with the help of the Faceless Void. Yang is trying to distract them as best he can, but he's got to be careful of not going too far here, and maybe he just did. All right, long jump in, almost actually taking out that Faceless Void. The Bloodstone keeping him alive, but eventually it will lose its effectiveness. And Matumba Man, kept alive by the Cold Embrace, means that Vici Gaming once again have to trade some heroes out to be able to defend an objective.
Secret's just been looking better today overall. I think in this game there were so many problems. The game was looking grim, and they still pull it together with excellent decision making and team fighting in the mid game. Getting the Roshan first series was, you know, more even early on, but it kind of had Secret written all over it draft wise, and going into that later portion of the mid game, they seem like they've come really well prepared.
Yeah.
And I still need to see that fire from Vici Gaming in any of these games, really. I don't think it's only in this game that they've been playing, you know, like a little scared of Secret.
Sure.
In the first game, I didn't really feel like they took initiative in the same way either. It was mainly Secret dictating the pace of the game. And see, I mean, it's easier said than done if you're playing against a strong opponent. You can't just run at them.
But even compared to the way they played against EG, right?
Yeah.
It felt like their attitude was just different. Whoa, with Chronosphere there from Matumba Man, this is an opportunity for Vici Gaming. But it's an opportunity they have to make sure they don't get caught by Nisha's Magnus. He tries to get the skill in. Fortunately, there is that telekinesis stopping it, but Eurus is left a little bit alone right now. Yang is going to try and help him out. RP threatens to come in. DY, Chain Frost is going to be thrown right as he tethers in. They quickly identify the Wisp and take him out of the fight. Now the RP laid down onto the Gyrocopter. Nisha's willing to blow this on just the carry because he's able to one-shot it. Now Ori coming back in, Windsur's Curse to be able to stop that damage onto the Magnus. The Organ's going to burn him out a little bit more, but a Cold Embrace to be able to save him, not good enough. Yang is going to be able to get him with the pure damage, but it's Yang against the world, and the world will eventually win here as Yang is going to be forced to try and retreat, but he has no Yules, he has no mobility tools, and they have plenty of stuns to stop the Timber Chain. That's a 1-for-5 wipe. Secret just seemed to be able to outmatch Vici Gaming at every turn. $4,000 net worth, man, and Secret. Better late game as well. I mean, with this much team fight, right? You like, these heroes are always going to be effective. They're always going to be terrifying for Vici Gaming. It just seems like the overwhelming amount of team fight they have means that Nisha can always use an RP very freely.
Yep, that's one upside when you have it in abundance, is that you can use it on a single hero, but the reason it is working out this well is that at this point I just think Secret's heroes have got way more than they bargained for. Like they were losing 2 lanes hard in this game. They lost both side lanes. Zai had a terrible game. Void was definitely losing as well. And they've just been taking it through one fight at a time.
Back in. All right, one fight at a time, one pickoff at a time.
Finally something for Vici.
Yeah.
See if they can find anything more. Doesn't look like it. Puppy's going to get out here. No problem.
Well, I'd love to see them do something more. I mean, there's still the Chronosphere down with Winter Wyvern dead as well. I'd love to see them go for a fight, but they're also closing in on some key item timings like this Satanic from Eurus. His survivability is a big issue in these fights. 50 seconds till the Roshan is up. That's perfectly timed for Secret, whose Yapzor Winter Wyvern will be up in time.
I don't think there was that much of a threat of Vici taking it anyway. Their lineup is just not good at killing Roshan.
Yeah,
it takes really, really long for these heroes.
Meanwhile, Secret's great at it, with so much physical damage, plus a Pangolier to disarm and lower the armor of a Roshan. 45 attack speed versus 40 movement speed. Talents for Gyro and Void. There just doesn't seem like a whole lot Vici Gaming is willing to do right now, besides wait for Secret to try and do Roshan and then hopefully play around that point.
They do have the 10-second BKB Storm. The thing about BKB in this game, though, is just how many solutions there are, right? There's Chrono, RP, and Curse.
Yep.
But again, if you split your heroes wisely, I think it's more about positioning than items at this point. Like, you have to have found that opening in the past, and you still need to do it. Well, let's see, Secret man, he's going to town on this.
Yeah, the Paladin Sword he picked up actually gives him the sustain to solo Roshan right now. Here's gonna dip his head into the pit to be able to find Matumba Man. And so Roshan will not be snuck away here. But Vici Gaming can't necessarily do it themselves. A lack of physical damage and smoke up from Secret. Once again, they're going to be the ones trying to take the first step in these team fights. Yang, well, we're going to be here ages if they're just going to let him try and solo it.
BYW saw Zai using that Arctic Burn.
Nice. Get a little bit of stacks of the reactive armor on the Timber Saw, but they're going to fade, so he's got to go back in there, build them up again. It's one of the worst parts about a Roshan fight for a Timber Saw. You're going to be starting off with that 0 reactive armor stacks. Made quite squishy. And Abyssal Blade up for the Magnus. Nisha has plenty of initiation opportunities. Blink, Skewer, and Abyssal Blade, all mobility tools to get on top of the enemy. And one more tool against the BKB of Storm.
Yeah, that's, you know, now they've reached the point where they can even start itemizing single target lockdown, right? They've had all these AoE lockdowns. Oh, here we go, Chrono.
Yeah, the Chronosphere is going to be used to make sure they do manage to pick up the Agent's Cheese Telekinesis, but can they actually get there in time? He's going to try and grab it, but he needs time, walk back in, the RP pulling away for the Aegis. Now locking down Eurus, he does manage to pick up that cheese and heals himself with it. Sign that back line, but Nisha immediately Abyssal Blaze onto the Wisp to be able to take him out. There's going to be buyback there, though. Eurus going toe-to-toe with Yang with the help of Ori. Might be able to bring him down. Yule Scepter buying a little bit of time. Swashbuckle over the side, but Zai will eventually die. Team Secret retreating, though, feeling like enough buybacks were used by Vici Gaming that they're okay with that engagement. After all, Matumba Man got that secondary life in the Aegis.
Yeah, and the cheese was expended by Vici as well, so they did grab that one. That was some really clutch plays going on. First of all, it was a great telekinesis by PYW to begin so that the Aegis was in jeopardy, and then the RP coming in, securing it for Secret. Find the Rubik.
Or he's low on mana, but he will have enough to be able to hold Nisha here as Eurus comes in. The Cold Embrace. Can they actually save him? They're running out of magic damage. He's healing up a decent amount. Is there any way for him to get away? No, yeah. In Timber Chain hit. Zai actually buy back. There's 2 heroes that are going to be dying back here. That is trouble now. 4 Team Secret. Puppy's going to be snagged up as well. Orchided. Yapzor doesn't have his Winter's Curse. Not much he can do to stop this.
Oh, shit.
This game might have changed, Synderen. Team Secret, I thought they got away cleanly after that Roshan fight.
Yeah, finally, I mean, I said finally already the last time they found a kill, but this time there were so many cooldowns used by Secret in that Roche fight, and Vici found one quickly after. First time really that Secret slip up a little bit and get caught off guard. Chain Frost.
They've made very few errors. They're just going to throw everything they have out there to try and push Vici Gaming back. They do not want to be losing a lane of barracks or even just a tier 3, but with 60 seconds on a Pangolier, Vici Gaming, they should know this is their opportunity to be able to turn this game around.
Yang sporting 71 armor.
That seems fair.
Yeah, nothing wrong here.
Matumba Man, he does have an Aegis as well as a Cold Embrace if they need to. Glimmer Cape is actually what bails him out here. But it's hard for Eurus to be able to commit, so they're just going to take the tier 3, grab that shrine. Maybe it wasn't as much as they were hoping for, but again, it's still a big opportunity, especially if they take another fight soon, while the Pango and Magnus still don't have buyback. Double Dragon Scale Rubik. A rare build indeed. All that armor is going to have to come in handy here for Yang. Lotus Orb helping with the time dilation a bit. No, actually time dilation after the Lotus Orb. Skewer, but the Timber Chain lands after the Skewer hit him, so he is able to jump away.
I wonder what you buy as a Secret to kill this Timber down the stretch. If he gets another strong defensive item. He's going for a Hex now, but with the Bloodstone heal, Craggy Coat, Lotus Orb and Pipe in these fights, if there's any sort of protection for him, it seems like Secret's single target damage at least is a little bit lackluster. Maybe something like a Bloodthorn could solve it. It's actually going to be Yapsor's item of choice on the Wyvern.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe we would be looking for it in the Magnus.
I'm surprised
they
it
already
took
have
this
the
long
Arcane.
to get the Heaven's Halberd, by the way. Against a Magnus and a Void. And also, Heaven's Halberd is kind of broken on Timbersaw. The regen amplification that you get out of it, I feel like this item could have been picked up earlier by Yang, but...
Yeah.
You know, again, he was feeling himself. He picked up that Bloodstone in part because he was ahead early.
The item is also getting better now that BKBs are dropping lower. It's more likely that you get to cast it the way you want.
That's true.
If Secret are the ones taking the initiative with 10-second BKBs, you're going to be waiting around quite a while to be able to use this item. Whereas now, if you use it first, obviously great. If not, you're probably going to survive long enough to at least get it off on one key hero. Until the Bloodthorn comes out. I actually think with Bloodthorn, he could die.
15% in power cleave. That's going to be great for him. That's another 30%, but then also just putting on Matumba Man is very strong. Rolling Thunder, oh, that was a little close. Zai does manage to find the IO, so they'll lock down DY unless he can actually get away because he jumps on a PYW and relocate out. He's safe.
Well, is he?
Well, let's see.
Maybe he is. It looks like Secret are kind of lingering.
Yeah, they're lingering maybe a little bit too long because Vici Gaming is coming here in force. The relocate is coming back here, so Eurus should feel comfortable here. This is going to be the first life Matumba Man, perhaps. Cold Brace actually keeping him alive still. He also has Satanic and might be able to turn in life steal a little bit, or he actually jumping in, but the Witcher's Curse locking him down. Now they have the Orchid. Timbersaw going into it with the Chronosphere onto the side is going to be able to finish off DY. A stolen Chronosphere, locking down 4 heroes underneath all of this one, but Eurus is too unhealthy to be able to turn and take advantage of this disable, and he's going to be chased down. The Abyssal Blade up, Ori, no buyback for him, so he can't help out his brother Eurus in defending this, and that means 3 heroes are dead on Vici Gaming with no buyback. PYW not going to make it away either. A shield crash in a vain attempt to survive. 4 dead, no buyback, and once again, Yang is left in a 1v4 to try and defend the base.
Yeah, this is at least 2 lanes. It's actually GG if Secret goes straight forward, I think. They might just go right down mid and start hitting the tier 4s. They will play the barracks first. They don't know exactly what the buyback status is. If they had this information, they would be ending the game right now. Might still be able to do it regardless. No, it will be 2 lanes of Rax, playing it very safe, and this will not allow them to end.
Yeah, 3 heroes
respawning.
3 heroes on the side of Vici Gaming that don't have it because of gold.
Yeah.
So they're anticipating that Ori and Eurus would buy back if they win for Throne.
I love the way Secret set up this fight, by the way. Matumba Man playing super aggressive because he knows he has to level 25 and Aegis. And Vici actually took the bait. They started running into the high ground where Secret were well placed, and eventually they chased so far that they got to cast their curse in a 2-man chrono. And I think Vici had every choice in the world there to wait out the Aegis instead of forcing that fight 30 seconds before it expires. They started going on this void and just really felt a bit stressed in this moment. It is hard to keep track of everything. I'm not going to downplay that. But once again, these games around Aegis, man, it's Vici's bane every game. That damn Roshan. If only it wasn't in the game.
Maybe
they would be doing much better.
Yeah, they would be in a much better situation against Vici Gaming. Really considering, was that a Divine Rapier being queued up by Matumba Man? I'm not sure if that's necessary, Matsu.
Make it exciting.
Yeah, it could be.
If you die, you give it to Gyro. That's problematic.
That could be a game changer for sure. The Rolling Thunder going to be used as the Timber Chain on cooldown. Catch him once, Sinister Gaze in so many disables, especially with the Bash, as well as the Basher on Nisha. Yang is just very unlikely to be able to get a Timber Chain ever. He's going to try and go the other direction, and does manage to cut down a few trees, but he's just going deeper into Secret's base.
So long.
Even with like a Bloodthorn and everything, yeah.
Oh, when the Bloodthorn connected, it went faster, to be fair, but man, it's so tanky. And it really goes to show how good of a pick it is in this game. Like, I think that was an excellent choice from Vici Gaming. They just haven't really put it all together. I like what they're trying to do here, though. They know Aegis is out. Secret might feel confident because Timber is dead. If they go for the tier 2, they could be punished from this high ground. But now that the smoke has faded on Io, or maybe Io was never smoked to begin with. Secret's hill ward is just sitting here. They haven't checked the most obvious ward spot on the whole map right now. They know exactly what's going on
here. That's why they're going to be able to get the 2-man RP into the backline. Nisha is trying to finish up this storm here. Fortunately, Aeon Disc from DY will do a lot of work for them. Matumban being controlled up, does manage to get on the BKB. Satanic healing him up to full as he's going to be able to beat DY to a pulp. He's dead, no buyback. Winter's Curse setting up the Rolling Thunder as well. Matumban is actually going to get out here. Same goes with Zai. Zai's going to pass on by here.
There's a Winter's Curse. There's 2 heroes fighting. There's just a car driving by. Like nobody's coming out to help.
See you later.
That was my favorite moment of the tournament, I think. Just watching Zai drive by that, just leave.
Yeah.
Oh, that was great.
To the other side of the river he goes. Double damage on Matumban means that they're not afraid of fighting, even though they've used RP, Chronosphere, Rolling Thunder. Every bit of ultimates that they have is not up, and they're still not afraid of Vici Gaming.
It's a big deal that Io is dead. It means a lot for their ability to single a target out right now. Obviously, tons of cooldowns on Secret. This move can backfire if they don't kill Euros before Io respawns. There is a tier 2 as a connection point for the Io if he doesn't want to relocate in. Euros gets out just in time, going to the left. Will lose a shrine.
Well, or is he? Euros.
Oh, okay, they're going to glyph that. They really want to protect the shrine so that they can access their worst enemy, Roshan.
Roshan is up in 35 seconds. They lose that shrine. They lose a lot of control over the Roshan pit.
I think that was a good glyph. I mean, you could argue you should maybe be saving it for a base push, but I think that's playing to lose, right? You gotta play for this exact moment and have everything come together.
A flicker.
Not the biggest fan of that item.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of that one, though.
Yeah, Spell Prism.
Spell Prism's really good. Getting that on Magnus also feels very nice.
Witless Shaco means that Puppy is very hard to kill. And I'd actually love that flicker to go over to Yapsor just to make sure he can't. It's a little bit harder to bring him down when Storm is always trying to hunt you, it seems like. We still going for that Divine Rapier on Matumban? We'll see. No, MKB.
Right.
A better, safer, more conservative choice.
Knowing Matsu, he might have just put it into his quick buy without telling his team, just to see what the reaction is when they see it. He could have totally done that. I wouldn't even be surprised.
Like, just a few minutes later, you hear Puppy. Matsu. Quickly switches up to MKB. No, I wasn't going. Not
Got
me,
some vocal threats. That'll help.
Can't forget about those denies at 46 minutes in, but you also can't forget about your base, which has quite a healthy invasion of dire creeps in it.
Yang is back to take care of business. He has Boots of Travel, so he can connect on the shrine.
That short window while he's not here, Secret are going to attempt a Roshan here. All the missiles being thrown out, just in case. Yang's already back, but he didn't fully deal with the invasion. There's another round of creeps going, so this is about that time Secret can just kind of chill out and, you know, at best, Vici Gaming's gonna bleed out a little bit of buildings.
I think this item on Gyrocopter can actually make a pretty big difference. The Princess Knife in this game.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, the way Vici Gaming are taking fights is they're moving in Gyro first to get information. Now they're going to do it with Yang. This 1.5-second hex can be enough to get a little bit of a surprise jump. Yang, though, is taking a lot of damage.
The missiles are coming in. They're going to be able to chain some Matumban for quite some time until the RP. Skewer on in, locking down the 2. The Chain Frost actually bouncing back on the Secret, but they don't care because the BKBs allows them to focus on the Gyrocopter. That Rolling Thunder bouncing up on DY. The A1 Disc does actually protect for the time being, but PYW not so lucky there. They do manage to get the Orchid on a Matumban, but a Lotus Orb coming out for Zai does save it. He time walks away. A Winter's Curse on all 4 heroes here, and that is a Storm Seer who's just dead. He's going to be able to buy back, and they do actually finish off Pumpy, but that is a small consolates that they need to be able to bring down some of these damage dealers like Matumban, who's still fighting on that front line. Ori going for Yapsor. Josephine to take out another one of the supports, but DY is not going to survive for long as the Abyss Blade cuts him down. Matumban, he breaks down the Gyrocopter. Damage running low on Vici Gaming. It's just Ori left with no mana. Now he falls as well. And that's it. Vici Gaming. Call here. Secret. A pretty clean 2-0 a convincing victory as they head to the grand finals.
They were clearly better today. The series had a lot of really close fights, but strategically it felt like Secret were just on a different level. They go into this series, they're basically like, hey man, we're gonna pick 5 team fighters, we're gonna lose 2 lanes. We don't care, you guys are gonna have to fight us and we're gonna beat you in these team fights eventually. And they did. The first game, different style a bit. Secret definitely have team fight every game. That seems to be the recipe that they're always covering. I wanna say their first lineup was more well-balanced and had less like weaknesses to be exploited by Vici Gaming than this one, but still. It felt like after 25 minutes, you weren't really worried for them anymore, for the most part.
It felt similar for game 1 for me anyway.
Yeah.
Again, you weren't really worried about Secret once they got over that like 20-minute hill, that their strength in the late game was eventually going to come to fruition. And I don't know, man, Secret, they look like monsters right now. It looks like they could just take anybody at this major. Vici Gaming, a lot of stun looks there on the booth, but they do get that second chance. You know, they're going to drop down the lower bracket. But Rich, what do you think about that one, man?
I mean, I definitely didn't expect it to look that clean. I think one of the big things that we've been talking about is both of these squads accumulating more and more throughout the entirety of the tournament. You heard in an interview with Puppy, and then you also heard in several interviews that we did actually have with Vici the idea of they weren't necessarily 100% thrilled with their performances early on in the tournament, which is shocking based off of the results that they had. But going into this matchup, I expected to get to a game 3, Kyle.
I kind of did too after watching the laning phase. I felt Vici, they could have gone one of 2 ways. Either they had to be a lot more aggressive, be willing to trade. You know, a Timbersaw, as farmed as Yang was, is not going to die unless multiple ults are used, right? But they're not playing offensively enough. They were allowing Secret to find kills with ults and not getting anything off of the map. Either that or just play for the mega late game. Rush the Bloodstone on your Storm and your Timber. At a point, Secret run out of damage. It just felt like they were caught in between and inevitably just watched their lead bleed out.
I saw Ori bleed for the first time in quite a long time. He got, I mean, Nisha just took advantage of that mid lane. He killed him. Not only just that, he farmed incredibly well. I think at one point Nisha was, what, 6-0 and 8 or something in the game. He died the once or twice throughout it all. I think he just dominated the whole game, and he really just, he didn't let Ori have a good game, where I think normally you look at Ori and you're like, damn, this could be a really nice Storm game as the
that fight right there, Nisha canceling the ult twice so it wouldn't get hit, and then he gets it on a hero. It was just, their spell casting simply was just amazing.
Yeah.
Watching them play that last fight, like they killed like 10 Vici heroes. They just kept fighting through the buyback.
And just that was, I believe it was
Shrine.
It was Sind actually. Sind at the end of the cast, he just goes, in both of these lineups, we see them just bring so much team fight. And I want to go back to kind of what we were discussing and also what we heard from Arteezy yesterday. The idea that, you know, Vici was the team in the tournament that had some of that, the best team play. Are we seeing Team Secret in that category just over-delivering what we expected?
I think Vici, more so, they're a well-oiled machine. They play very disciplined Dota, whereas Secret, it just, it's like watching them dance almost within these team fights. Like they're just fluid the way they're playing Dota. Individually, I think that each one of their members is one of the best 3 at their positions, and specifically the supports. I feel like Puppy doesn't get enough credit for being one of the highest skilled 5s in Dota.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now he finally has items, right? He's not running around with like 800 HP anymore. He's actually a real impact in these fights. His Lich was instrumental in a bunch of kills that game.
Yeah, and Yapsor is not a support.
Yeah, he's not.
Look at his build.
He's really
He's
not.
got like Shadowblade, Bloodthorn. He gets a very thankful telescope to build in for them there, but the way that they play, I agree. They always just seem to have these heroes that, and the way that they play is like everybody's kind of scaling, everybody's getting to be like a core kind of hero, even though they're not. And it's just miraculous when they have this much team fight. All 5 heroes contribute so much fight.
And that's the thing, like Puppy, trusting your team, because you miss one Chrono, you might lose a fight. You miss one RP, you might lose a fight. You just mess up one when it was Chris, you might lose a fight. You don't make those calls on the run, right? That's each player making their own individual call at the right time.
Well, let's hear what those calls potentially were like. We're going to actually get to talk to the most Kawaii. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Zai. Nice to have you, man. Nice to have you here with us.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for taking a little bit of time to talk to us. Guys look pretty freaking scary, to say the very least. Coming into this matchup, obviously Vici, throughout the entirety of this tournament, have looked like a powerhouse themselves. Were you guys nervous about this matchup at all?
I wouldn't say we were nervous, per se, but I mean, we respect them as a team. we played them in groups and they were strong. But we beat them then, and we beat them now. So.
Well, there aren't many teams left, right? Already going into this one, we knew who the top 4 teams were going to be. There's a real chance that you might have to play Vici again in the grand final. Congratulations again on making it to the grand final. Or it's going to be EG, or it's going to be Alliance. Any of these teams scary to you?
No.
I kind of thought that was the answer that we might get, folks. Kind of thought that might be the answer that we get. But we were kind of talking a little bit about kind of some of the things that we were noticing. Is there anything that maybe us kind of sitting here just watching the game that was going on in the comms that we couldn't hear that you would like to share with anyone, or do we got to keep it on the DL?
I mean, usually when we play Vici, we really enjoy killing Yang. It's like...
couldn't this game.
Yeah, we couldn't this game, which was frustrating, you know, because he's just strong all the time, but we can't kill him. Even in the final fights, you know, he's just running around and we can't touch him. But it didn't really matter in this case because he was worthless.
Yeah, that laning phase, were you guys, like, after the laning phase, were you nervous? Or did you, like, you did have the better team fight, right? But I'm sure you're like, uh-oh, one missed Chrono, you just lose, right?
Yeah, I don't think the game went according to plan in the early stages. But yeah, I mean, as you said, we knew we had superior team fight throughout the game. Even if Wisp will get super fat, they'll die in a Chrono. They'll die in a curse or something. So, yeah, I mean, we just took it easy. We realized that we can't really touch Timber when he's pushing our towers, and then we'll just take the game late.
You know, so since I've gotten the pleasure to get to cover any Dota events, pretty consistently, you guys have just been, I mean, we look at the majors last year, you guys take 2. Now already you're in such a great position in this major. What's it like? Is there any moment when you have so much continued success that you start to get in your own head at all?
I wouldn't say so. I mean, maybe a bit towards the end of the season last year, we were getting a bit complacent. But now, I mean, it's a new season. We haven't even gathered a single DPC point yet. We went through open qualifiers for this tournament. So we're just ready to play. Been missing out on a few tournaments, so it's good to be back and competing.
Well, you guys all looked fantastic, but we have to figure out who the MVP of that matchup was. We're going to be taking a look at who everybody voted for at home in the chat. Gentlemen, could I get the drum roll? Let's take a peek at the MVP.
It's going to be Matamba, man. Wow. That's a solid second place.
I mean, I had my few MVPs in the beginning, right? To the tournament.
Yeah, you were stacked them up.
Every single one, but now I guess people are bored of me. So.
Yeah. Pretty consistent. You know, they like to change it up. They like to change it up a little bit, but I really do want to thank you one more time. I wish you the best of luck in the tournament. We're going to see you soon. You can head off and hang out with the rest of your team. Thank you again.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, one more time.
Can I add something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So before we leave, we're doing some meet and greet over the Corsair booth. So if you want to say hi, just come on over.
Meet and greets over there.
You guys heard it. There you go. Another jam,
yeah.
I want to take a second really quick. I know we do have to hop to a break pretty soon here, but I do kind of want to jump in on one thing that Kyle was saying because I do think it's important to kind of look at. You've been talking quite a bit. You've been talking about Puppey and this particular patch. Do you just think this is a team right here in Secret that with the current meta of the game, you look at them and it just starts a line?
Sure. Like, I think the results speak for themselves, right? This is arguably the most consistently performing team in Dota. It's OG at TI, but throughout the past 2 seasons, it's been all Secret. I expect to see them continue to dominate. I'd be surprised if they don't win this tournament if they can maintain this level of play.
And you're talking about consistency. Puppey has been captaining teams since 2004. Like, we're 16 years later, and he's still on top. That's crazy.
It really is. And the other thing that is crazy, I just heard, we're not going to break, actually. We're going to keep it rocking here. We got EG and Alliance coming up next. We can start to actually talk about that. You hear quite a few people here cheering for those squads. So let's start to talk about these 2 teams. Obviously, this one's for elimination. You get top 3 if you're able to pull this one down. Grant, you have to push the button. It's just, whoa. Look who it is! Folks, this one right here, I am very excited for. I'm gonna be honest. I had a little bit of information. I knew that this one was coming. Thank you very much, Kyle. Thanks, toss me the mic here. We're gonna be having some cosplayers on right now as Crystal Maiden and as Legion. How are you guys doing? If you want right now, show off to everybody in the crowd everything that you've put together. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise break it down. This panda's a little bit of a stage hog. Do you mind the panda posing with you right now?
Yeah, I don't think that's working. I think we're gonna get him into costume at least, right?
Oh, we're gonna make the panda a cosplayer.
Yeah, I think so.
You're okay with that?
We should get my girl Rach on stage. She usually helps me into costume.
Yeah,
I think
come on over.
she probably has something for the panda too.
You got something for the panda to wear? You know, I keep seeing this guy. He's in all of my pub matchups every single time. I can't tell if he's a real farm animal or not. We might figure it out at the very end here. Oh, what do we got for him? So you said that she helps you get ready quite a bit.
That's right. Yeah, among cosplayers it's quite common that you either help each other, or when costumes get a bit more complicated, you might need someone without a costume to really, you know, put you in there.
Yeah, get
like
you in.
I'm not gonna help them because I literally can't move. So no, let them get her ready. I think Panda's gonna look cool.
Yeah, he's already looking pretty good. I mean,
anyone
I
can cosplay, right? Definitely, a Panda can do it.
I've been trying to get Kyle to cosplay with me for a long time, but I'm pretty sure.
What should he do?
I think Kyle and I would be a courier. It'd be a two-part costume. He'd probably be the front. I'd probably be the ass.
Sounds about right, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. Hey, man, he's looking really good. How long does it usually take to prepare an entire cosplay?
Oh, that really depends on the costume. For me, it's usually between 300 and 700 hours. So this is like in between somewhere. But like, yeah, it really depends.
Wait, 300, 700, how many days is that? I'm terrible
I don't know.
at math, I'm sorry.
I don't know.
That's
Depends how much time you have.
That is a long time. That is a very long time.
It's less Dota grinding, more crafting. That's how we get ready.
Is it usually like, you know, an event's coming up, so then you say like, okay, it's grind time, I'm gonna put in the time?
Pretty much, yeah. And then you have like, oh, it's 6 months, that should be fine. Then it's like, oh, 4 months now, really should get going.
But it's months. It's really like a month's process.
It's definitely months. I mean, especially if you know you have a full-time job and stuff, you should start early.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
This one is a bit quicker, to be fair, a costume like that.
That panda looks pretty good, huh?
I think we're almost ready to pose now, but we gotta get some props, right? That's part of the deal.
Let's let the panda really show off here.
Let's do this.
Guys, have some poses. Everybody make some noise for our cosplayers. All right, make some noise for Crystal Maiden and Legion Commander. I have to exchange some words with this panda, though. This panda's been really the entirety of the show. Just, you know, every time I get into a game, I think that I'm going to play against farm animals like myself, actual farm animals, and we have these people in furry outfits that are not real farm animals queuing against me, and I've had it. Ow.
Thank you very much. We are going to show it to a short break, and when we get back, EG versus Alliance.